Good?
We are live on YouTube.
All right, what's up, YouTube? Going live.
And
Wait until we get Instagram live, and then
you half step that way.
we'll get going.
Yeah, and then you're all live now.
Live on Instagram?
Live on Instagram.
All right, cool. Awesome. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome for another beautiful Wheel Wednesday. Live Q&A. Feel free to drop your questions in the comments, and I'll do the best I can to answer. I don't know if Scott's going to be stopping in today. He might be hopping in, switching in with me. But until then, I'm your guy. So, yeah. So
You're going to hold the microphone like a newscaster?
Yeah, I'm a newscaster right now. So this is KONIG Rich reporting the news. So feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer as many as I can. Besides that, in about an hour's time, I don't have my watch on. I'm ill-prepared. In about an hour's time, we're going to be doing a podcast. It's going to be myself with a special guest, and we're going to be doing a little search in the interweb for some salvage cars. So
found some good ones, too.
There's some cool stuff on there, and check it out. In this crazy time where the car market is so messed up and people want to buy cars and etc., but the prices are too high and whatever. So not saying that you should buy a salvage car, but we were just taking a look to see what it would be like if you would consider one.
Well, we found the 458 Italia.
We found some cool stuff. It's worth checking in. It's very interesting, and it's a good time as well. We have some fun. But it's me and our one of our salesmen, Doubt, and we're on there today doing a podcast. That being said, is there any questions, Max?
We're getting a couple questions. We got Blueberry in here. What's up, Blueberry?
Hey, Blueberry, how are you?
She says, did you guys watch Formula Drift Atlanta this weekend?
Yeah, so I actually did not. I was away.
I thought you watched it. Oh,
no, I was away. I was away, so I didn't have a chance to at all. But I did watch some highlights.
Nice. Who won again?
Von Gittin Jr.
Von Gittin Jr.
For
and then
pro?
Who was the pro spec?
Bob, I can't remember his
Baba
name.
Boy.
Something. I can't remember who it was.
All right, cool.
But
I think we got Scott here.
Yeah.
All right, you can hang out.
You guys should both do it.
You do your thing.
Let's see. Fredo says, "Where are my countergrams at?"
I don't know. Probably en route
We'll
if you bought them.
Send us a message. We'll help you out.
But
Freddie R32 says, "Rich, what's your favorite Koenig wheel?"
what is my favorite Koenig wheel? The ones that fit my car. No, I don't know. I mean, right now, I mean, the new Ultragram is here, and it's really cool. And I think just the color alone of the carbon bronze metallic is a really unique color that you don't really see a lot of other examples out there in the market. So I'll say that for right now. It's really, really cool color. You're very unique.
Scott Hollingsworth on YouTube says, "Hi, all."
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, Scott? We got D-Wood13 saying, "White 15x9 soon. I'm buying wheels soon."
We have the dial-ins, 15x9.
He says white, though. He wants
We
white.
have dial-ins in white.
I'm not sure
Okay.
white. We did, and I think we only did the hexaforms in up to 8, right?
Yeah, I think
You want
15.8.
15.9, yeah.
Do we have dial-ins in 15.9?
I don't know about a white.
Okay.
You
Well,
tell us you stumped
yeah.
us. You stumped us.
Yeah, so as a DM, we could check for you.
Blueberry just told us that Rudy Hansen won Pro Spec.
Rudy Hansen.
Okay.
So there you go. That was the name. I forgot
gotta
it
check
though.
him out. She also says, "I saw a $200 Ranger on Marketplace that was burned down. The listing says Ford Ranger melted."
$200?
Well, I mean, we found a 458 for $2,500.
I think airbags are worth that nowadays.
Right.
So if those are okay.
We got-
It's burned down.
Like, is it like completely?
Melted.
Is it to a crisp?
She said burned down and just melted.
So it's rubble.
$200
Oh no.
for some ash.
Okay.
Let's see. OV Takahashi says, "When's the Forge stuff coming out?"
So Forge stuff. As of right now, a little bit of a delay on that. So
It's Rich's fault.
yeah. So apparently it's my fault that Forge isn't here yet. But no, we have a delay on Forge right now. We're hoping for end of summertime right now, but it's going to be subject to change.
God,
We got Steve Antsy in here.
Yo, what's up, Steve? Just spoke to him earlier. What's up, man?
We got JDL asking, "What colors do the Ultragram come in?"
The Ultragram comes in the titanium metallic. It's kind of like a silverish color, a little bit darker than silver, I guess. Has some flake in it. It's really cool. And then carbon bronze metallic, which is kind of between like a gray and a bronze almost, or a gunmetal and bronze. It's really cool color.
We got Ansra. We got another question on the Ultragram. How come no 16-inch?
For what? We have 16
The
inches.
Ultragram.
No. I don't know. I mean, that's just not what we did at the moment. It's not that it can't happen in the future, though.
yeah.
So upon initial release, we're not doing 16-inch.
Supply and demand.
Makes sense. Let's see. Ice Reyes says, "We need some bronze countergrams, please."
Bronze countergrams. I mean, I don't think that's on the way just yet, but we could
Pretty cool.
We can consider that.
Check out those ultragrams though.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Freddie R32 saying the top middle wheel behind you is my top wheel right now.
So what's that?
That's the bronze heliogram.
Cool.
Nice.
Awesome. Bronze
Yeah,
Heliogram's a good looking wheel.
R32 would look great.
Nice.
We got two people in here.
R32 Nissan or Volkswagen?
It's a
We'll
VW.
find out.
You know, we've
Yeah,
been getting really
VW.
good feedback from some of the FD drivers running it with the neural beads and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be something you want to.
Okay,
Let's
yeah.
see,
So
we
I mean, well, also the Ultragram's going to be having neural beading too. So and we're getting good feedback with that. So heliogram, Ultragram comes standard, neural beading.
We got Josh B. Boy asking, is that Scott in the background?
Yeah, it is. If you want to see him on the foreground, he can come over here.
There we go. Let's see, we got GY650cc saying, make wheels for the Honda Ruckus, which is a little moped motorcycle.
I love the Honda Ruckus. I like the big
Carnival.
Ruckus. Yeah.
The Ruckus is pretty cool. Yeah, the Ruckus is pretty
I've
cool.
always wanted one of those, but
We got
no.
Keystone Automotive giving a wave.
hey, how are you? Keystone. Yeah, so Grom's
Grom's
cooler,
cool.
but Ruckus is.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
think Grom is the best-selling motorcycle in the United States for the last 2 years
Does
now.
it count as a motorcycle?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah,
We got
Grom's good.
he says Freddie R32 with the VW R32. I think he says
Nice.
I meant the top middle and my right wheel, the silver ones. So either
Hypergrams?
hypergram there, both nice matte gray, and then the
Carbon.
no with
These?
the machine matte with the
Yeah,
machine lip.
carbon with
Right.
the machine lip. Yeah.
There you go. Let's see. We got DC5 Ollie saying B profile Koenig hexaforms where? Can't find them on the standard wheel website.
On our website, the B profile for the hexaforms would start at a 10-inch wide width. So if you have a DC5, I don't know if you're fitting that on your car.
Nice. We got N54C asking, are you guys going to be at FD New Jersey?
Yes, we're gonna be at New Jersey. Come down, say hello. We're gonna
Come
have
with cash.
Yeah,
we
we'll
got
have the-
merch.
yeah, we're gonna have a
Set
tent
up.
and have stuff and
We got
We got the
some-
new
ice
merch.
cream cones and whatnot. I'm gonna probably be doing Mr. Softy stuff,
Yeah,
giving
we
out
got-
ice cream.
We got Vinny 10 Racing in here giving us.
Hey, what's up, Vinny 10?
That's pretty cool. Hey, did you see Vinny 10 doing vlogs now again on his channel? Pretty good.
No, I didn't see
Pretty
it.
good one. Brian CLT saying, what's up, guys?
Yeah, what's up, Brian? How are
What's
you?
up, Brian? Let's see. Anyone with questions, pop them in there below.
Yeah. You want
What-
to tag team?
Let's see. We got,
Want me to?
what's
Yeah.
the most concave wheel you make?
The most concave wheel. I think I
You
just
wanna
hit a
come here?
button.
Oh, well, if you want to do that.
Whatever you did. I don't know. You want to.
I think I just hit a button here.
Take it over. if you want.
The red light came on.
And you're recording to the thing now. You're
Does
good.
it matter?
No, you can keep going.
Cool. Let me put this on so you don't have to.
All right.
I'm just gonna stick.
Scott in the building, people.
Does that work, or does it have to be the?
You can do it however you want.
But is it facing sideways? Does that pick
No,
up
it
the
looks
audio?
good. Yeah, it looks
All
good.
right.
Yeah. I can
All right.
appreciate it.
Sorry for the intermission. What's going on?
We got a couple people saying Scott sighting, love it.
Yeah.
That's actually
Right.
from a guy named Scott the Stig.
Oh,
I love
nice.
that. The Stig.
Scott the
I
Stig.
gotta get
Is
back
that Scott
to the top gear.
Hollingsworth? No.
Well, Scott Hollingsworth is over here.
Oh.
It might be the same. Maybe he's. Oh, it is. He's got the
Yeah.
same profile picture.
What's up, man?
He's on both Instagram and YouTube.
So great.
Thanks for the support, Scott. We got Cube52 saying good
What's up,
afternoon,
Cube?
everyone at Koenig.
are
Hope
you?
everyone's having a great day. Much love and respect.
Appreciate it.
We
You as
got-
well.
We got Taco13 Man saying I had 17x7 Koenig Reasons on my 97
Oh
Tacoma.
my God. You realize that was? I think that. Oh my God. That wheel was like still being sold when I first started here.
What year is that?
Definitely was sold in like 2004,
I haven't even
2005.
heard of that one. Okay.
Right?
And we could see that on the website under discontinued.
Maybe.
Okay.
It was a Discount Tire exclusive wheel, actually.
Nice. We got Toucan619 saying, what up, Scott?
What's happening, man?
He also says, F3S, when are they coming out, please?
Yeah, so the Ford stuff, I mean, Richie alluded to it before. I don't know what is going on. You know, it's just, it's so easy to make the wheels, but everything else along with it has just been a freaking nightmare. So, not the wheels. The wheels we can make fine. It's the, you know, we developed this custom packaging. We developed all these different things, accessories, custom caps, all these things. They just seem to be like a nightmare to either get right or get into thing. And we're just not prepared to bring it there unless we know that everything is 100%. So there is a delay. There's been a delay. We get it. Nobody hates it more than I do. I promise you that. I would say if everything really starts to go in the right direction, I would say we should start to see wheels show up. Let's see, what day is today?
Wednesday, the 17th.
So I'm going to say right around first week of August. I know that's pretty pinpoint, but it's also based off of kind of what I know is actually happening.
We got Seamus in here saying, Scott, I saw your 350Z on your story, KONIG Wheels story, last week.
I was going to say, I didn't put it on my story.
I think it was the KONIG Wheels
Oh,
story.
got it.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I happened to bring it in one day. Just happened to be floating around the parking lot.
Yeah, it looked good. It's looking really good. CLT Brian saying, I'm heading down to Hyperfest on Friday.
Oh, sweet.
Nice, have fun.
Yeah, we're not going to be there, but we're talking about maybe going back next year. Just one of those things. Trying to get to certain events, but not other ones, and they have a great event, so you're gonna have a good time.
Guard 64VWR saying, patiently waiting for my black hexaforms to be available again. Is the ETA still for July, you think?
There's no way I can answer that, honestly. DM us, because every wheel is gonna have a whole bunch of different SKUs, and some SKU, like it's not like, oh, all right, let's run black hexaforms, right? We're running different SKUs all the time. So depending on what part number you have, that may be accurate, maybe a little off, maybe coming in sooner.
We got Kylan asking, what are my options for 2019 Tesla Model 3?
You have a lot of them. You do need to find out if it's going to be one of the long-range batteries, a dual motor car. Changes the weight quite a bit. We just want to make sure you're in the right load rating, which is actually a good segment for what we have coming on Friday, right? Mm-hmm. This Friday, we're actually going to put out another video on load rating to kind of talk about the importance and what it really means and some of the standards and how wheels are built and yada, yada, yada. But check it out. It'll be on our YouTube channel, KONIG Wheels USA, this Friday. Now, in regards to your options, a lot of people seem to be they gravitate pretty hard towards the Ampliform, but you do have options. Most of the Flowform wheels will work just fine in your car. The common size that we see people downsizing to is 18.9.5 ET35. There are some people that want to go a little bit more conservative. They do 18.8.5, lower offset, like 35. Then there's other people that just try to really jam a lot. Wheel segments all over the place, 19-inch, 20-inch. You have your run of the gauntlet. So, look around. Let us know what makes you happy. If you have any questions, let us know.
Scott Hollingsworth saying, my first wheels were the Koenig Imagines way back.
Oh, geez, yeah. So my first wheel, my first Koenig wheel was a Koenig Caffeine. Just throwing that one out there for you.
Great name. Blueberry saying, looking around currently on the marketplace for a potential drift car, maybe a drift truck. What would you go with?
So my opinion is, if you're gonna, I know this is gonna sound like I'm biased, but I think 350Z, bang for the buck, is the best drift car that you can get your hands on. And the reason I say that is because it is an amazing starting point. And, there's so many things. First off, remember, the car comes with pretty much everything aluminum right from the go, right? It's got all the cool little under trays, under package. It's got a carbon fiber drive shaft. It is rear-wheel drive. The car, needs some suspension and a little bit of geometry correction just to make it so it's a little bit more controllable. But that's something you're going to do anyway, right? You're going to put suspension in the car. Additionally to that, I think the car makes just the right amount of power. It's not too slow, but it's not too fast, which means you're going to conserve tires on a drift car, especially when you're first getting going. It's not going to cost you $1 million to go out and run those cars. The parts are pretty readily available and they're pretty inexpensive, especially if you're using companies like Rock Auto or whatever it may be to source some of your replacement parts. I think you could put together a nice selection of replacement parts to be on tap, so you can go out and break things and not fear about losing your seat time. And in addition to the 350 stuff, there's just a lot of following, right? So you can do a whole bunch of different things. And then if you really end up in one of those things where the drift car gets super competitive, like you can see the Alec Robbins and a bunch of guys that are running 350Z, you could yank the VQ out and you can throw in an LS or something to that effect, 2JZ if you really want to make it spicy. You can have a really great car that can kind of grow with you as your skill level grows. That's my opinion.
Toucan619, the guy asking about the F3S earlier, saying, I'm wondering, are you going to make them, or well, thank you for answering my question. Are you going to make these F3S for the AMG C43?
So I don't know that we're targeting that car specifically, but is there a strong probability that we will have wheels that will fit that car? There are. I think that there definitely are. I'm looking at when I think about the only thing I could say, this is the only thing I could say without checking a brake mentally in my head. So the C43 AMG is going to have a really large brake package, and the one thing about the F3S is that it has a lip on it. Anytime you have a wheel with a lip, you'll know that you're going to lose caliper clearance right off the bat. So there's a possibility that you may have to roll into the F1M to get the proper wheel size and get the clearance that you need for those brakes. I don't want to say that 1,000% because I don't know if I remember checking it explicitly. So if you want, you can send us a DM. We'll be happy to kind of look into it more.
Two-part question from Shift Life Garage. He
Sure.
says, hey guys, do you guys still carry the Backbone 17-inch 4x100?
Yeah,
And then he says, is it possible to buy just one wheel?
of course.
All right.
Like a replacement or something, yeah, of course.
Danger Too Fast _ Dave saying, I'm saving up right now.
You know what? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Some of the part numbers for the Backbone have been, phased out over the years. DM us. Let me just double check that 400 wasn't one of them. I don't think it is, but I don't want to give you an answer here and then like I'm a liar. So just DM us and let's double check for you. I think it's fine though.
Danger Too Fast _ Dave saying, saving up for a set of your wheels right now. Hyped.
Listen, first off, I can't tell you how much we appreciate that. Honestly, it really means a lot to us. I know that, wheels and some of these big part costs can get really expensive, and it means a lot to us that you would, consciously spend your hard-earned money and save it just for the intention of getting our brand. So I really mean this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
We got Taco13 man saying, those Koenig Reasons were from 2004 and were totally badass. I love them and
Yeah.
looking forward to possibly getting some Koenigs for my 2022 Tacoma.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
So I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but if you got a 22 Tacoma, just hang out just a little bit longer.
Uh-oh.
Just a little bit longer. If you are getting something right now, let me tell you something. FN Wheels has some really cool stuff, and you should check that stuff out too.
We got Scott the Stig, Hollingsworth, and is here saying 350Z is the new 240.
It really is. And I think that there's a lot of similarity, not in the car. I think there's a lot of similarities in some of the things that you can see what made the S chassis so popular, especially in the latter years as, kind of it became the only drift car that people wanted to use. But the 350Z definitely has those pieces, and I think the car inherently is a very good car to start. I mean, obviously another car that you really could start that seems to have a lot of the same type of thing would be like a BMW like E46 3 Series. And you've seen that a lot in some of the Pro cars. They're really transitioning some of their platforms to those cars from S chassis. It has the same vibe, right? It's got some pretty trick, aluminum parts that kind of come from the factory. The car is fairly well balanced. The steering geometry is actually really good out of the box. There's a level to the offering that you have in the aftermarket, so you can go ahead and transition between different parts or levels, and the car can grow with you as you go. So I think that the E46 is also a really good platform for that, and I think both mirror some of the things that the S chassis really provided that made it very popular.
That's perfect time with that comment because Ice Ray S04 says, I think the E36 is the best drift car.
Yeah, I mean, listen, E36, E46, I think you're right in that vibe where I think, yeah, those are great cars. And the steering geometry on those cars is just so good, right? And so, when you start adjusting cars, I've heard this, I'm not a drifter by any means, but just from the nature of listening to a lot of feedback that we get from different drivers that we've had over the years, being able to kind of get the car set up, and the steering and all those different suspension parts, and getting Ackerman set up right and all that stuff, the BMW really seems to be a car that they feel very good about. I know people that have run the E90 stuff and later, and they say it gets twitchy. And I think a good example of some of that would be, I know Farouk, Farouk Kouai, he was campaigning one of those in Pro, and then it was in Pro Spec, and then I think he was back in Pro with it. And the E90 was a little twitchy for him, which is why he kind of went back to an S chassis. In addition to that, I think you can see Christoph Blues in the earlier part of when he was running that platform down. There was a lot of twitchiness to that car, and then he really did a great job of really doing it. Now the AHGK team is really, a force to be reckoned with, right?
Shift Left Garage in here. First question we already answered about, yes, you can get the one backbone wheel, so
Yep.
shoot us a DM. We'll sort out your specs. And then he says, KONIG Wheels for life, thank you.
Hey, appreciate that.
We got Chingo Hondo in here.
Love that
great
name.
Yep. Are you going to Formula Drift Orlando?
No, we're not.
To Caleb in here asking, where do I get Tantrum Tulips? I need all new.
Tantrum 2 lips.
Tantrum Tulips.
The Tantrum 2 never had a replaceable lip.
Maybe he just wants tantrums, and then he says 17-inch tulip. I'm not sure.
No, there's not going to be
Give us some more details there.
Tantrum. Oh wait, Tantrum 2. He said.
Tantrum 2.
So you have the original. You have the Tantrum 3-piece wheels that are got to be 30 years old almost.
Wow.
Am I right? Let me know if
Let
that's
us
it.
know there in the comments,
if you do,
Caleb.
take pictures, man.
Yeah, that's
That's
cool.
unbelievable.
We got No Man 007. Hello, sir. Please, can you DM me? I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, you could DM us.
Yeah, and
DM
we'll
us.
sort you out.
Yeah.
Aldrin 187. Do you recommend daily driving a Mark II GTI?
Do I recommend it? I mean, I think that's a hard
cool car.
question, right? Like, I mean, if you want. You know
a
what I
cool
mean? Like,
car, yeah.
I don't know. Like, if you
Be
want,
a good
I
daily
think.
driver.
I mean, if you're asking me, do I have any recommendations against it? I mean, that old of a car, I would say just make sure it's mechanically sound. I mean, I'm not. I think people should daily drive what they want to daily drive. I just think that you have to make certain considerations when you daily drive certain cars to make sure that they are reliable enough to be a daily driver, right? Like that's my take on it.
We got Wasiu Bello. I remember him from last week. This is a tough comment to hear here, but he says, sadly, I have to go with another brand because I can't wait a year to get custom for my Alpha Giulia.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we wish we could sell everyone wheels, not just for the business side of it, but just because, we feel that we work hard and we put things out there, and we try to make sure it's the best product we can make. So we feel biasly kind of opinionated that our stuff, is of the best that we can make. But yeah, I get it. Like if I was in your boat, I would probably source something else as well.
But hey, maybe wait for the Forge program, see when that comes out.
Well, but that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
Because I remember him asking a question about will the Forge stuff come for the Giulia. Listen, I understand what you're saying. Like, hey, listen, I can't wait any more time. I've been waiting. You guys have delayed this. Yeah, that's on us, right? And so, like, I understand, man. Like, I mean, we're all car people, and there's been plenty of times that, for good, right, wrong, or indifferent, that I have made a decision to pivot to a different part than I wanted because of its availability, right? Now, sometimes that worked out for me, and sometimes it didn't. That's up to you, but I totally understand. And I thank you for even waiting as long as you did.
CZUJKO, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
Where can I buy the white hexaforms for my Mark 7 GTI?
Anywhere?
Maybe Euro Tuning would be a good spot.
Yeah, Euro Tuning is a good spot. I mean, a lot of places that carry our wheels will be able to get it for you. But if you have a problem, let us know.
We got Blueberry saying, I like BMWs a lot, though. Just need to get FCP Euro.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a good point, too. I think what he's referring to is, like I had said before about like some of the Rock Auto stuff when I was talking about the Nissan. And like with FCP Euro, first off, they're a great bunch of people. Second off, most of their parts have a lifetime warranty, which means if you break it or something like that, you can just take your old part, send it in, they'll give you a new one.
Nice.
But my whole thing is that when you first start drifting, there's going to be some parts that you're just going to destroy. Every platform is a little unique to which ones they kind of are more susceptible to kind of damaging. Again, obviously, providing that you're not slamming into walls, that opens up a whole new can of worms. But, you know, one of the things that people I think often overlook is that when you're going to travel to a track, you're going to put your car on a trailer, you're going to draw, whatever it may be, and you get out there and you paid for a drift day or you paid for one of these things, you want to have as much seat time as possible, right? So you don't want to get out there and then run into one of those situations where all of a sudden, you know, you're not able to, you know, run for the day. You're broken after 2 hours, and now you're like, do I stay? Should I just go home? So having some of these replacement parts on hand so that you can kind of like just throw them in. So sometimes at first the cheaper parts, you know, to have them on hand and be able to get yourself rolling again, I think is pretty important.
Would you also say that most race platforms are built on like they buy salvage title, or like, you know, repairable, like kind of what we did on the podcast today?
No, I don't know that I would say all of them. I think there's a fair amount of them, right? When you only need a chassis or something, I just think it depends on where the origination starts in the drift, like in your racing program. Like for example, like there's a lot of people that I think their original car that they get, and then they're driving it around for years, and they're like, hey, let me do an autocross, and the car progresses. And I think not so much the case, but I think if you're going to find a race team that's going to be starting from scratch and just looking for a car, if they could find something that was clean, that didn't have like a lot of damage to it, there might be something to it. I've known plenty of guys that are, you know, starting drift programs and going for 350Zs, and they're like, hey, because the front end basically unbolts, if you find anything clean, you know, clean from the strut tower back, you're in good shape. So you find something that had a, you know, in-car collision, especially if they're going to be, you know, yanking the VQ out. Doesn't matter what happened to the engine, doesn't matter really what happened to the tranny. Obviously, if it has a CD09, that's pretty cool. But you know, that ability just to kind of replace the bolt-on front end, as long as the strut tower's back or in good condition, is pretty awesome.
You hear that, Blueberry? That's a pro tip for you. Check out Copart. DJ Toxic 1 saying, what size wheels do you recommend on my Mark IV VW Jetta?
Mark IV Jetta, you really want to do something, you know, the car didn't take an inherently wide wheel, so you're probably going to want to run right up to about an 8, around a 35-ish. You can go 8.5, around a 35, but just stay cautious about what tire size you run and what you're doing to your suspension.
We got All Day Anthony in here giving away.
Hey, man, I owe you a phone call because we were going to talk, and my day's kind of been messed up.
Are they here this week? I think they're
Next
here
week.
Next week. Cool. Coyote E46 saying E46 for the win.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great platform for a lot of racing.
All Day Anthony saying, excited to see you next week, Scott.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
We got Blueberry saying, I'm still looking for a trailer because I don't want to worry about breaking my daily while on the track, which is 40 minutes away. I don't want to get stuck.
Man, 40 minutes away, I would kill for 40 minutes away.
That'd be nice.
Every time I went to the track, it ended up being 3.5 hours away.
Jeez.
And so I hear what you're saying. So 40 minutes away.
Nice.
Trailer options. There's so many trailers out there, right? And if you're handy and you know how to weld and you have a little bit of skill, buying a trailer that's kind of and turning them into something cool is totally possible. But yeah, man, find some sort of open car trailer that's old, that needs, you know, a round of bearings, maybe some hubs, you know, something cool that you could place a few parts or metal on. And pro tip from me, there's something that I didn't think about for my first trailer, was make sure you find something that either has a removable fender, or when you get them, turn your fenders into removable, and try not to get those stupid trailers that were probably meant more for like bobcats and stuff, because they have that little ledge, that like metal edge that sticks up, because that is a nightmare trying to navigate onto and not, you know, have to hop out the window.
Makes
Whatever
sense.
it's worth.
Let's see. Coyote 46, who loves E46s, says he drove a Z before and thought it was good.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, they're good out of the box. They are way better when you put a little bit of money into them.
Let's see, we got two. Caleb, the guy with the Tantrum 2s, the three-piece, saying OG three-piece Tantrum 2.
That's wild. Send pictures of that.
Yeah.
Send us pictures of that. My biggest, I can remember when we were changing warehouses many years ago, and there was just we've all these little random parts and stuff for those wheels. But at the time that was yesteryear then. So.
He does have a question about those tantrums. He says, any chance you could help me find lips anywhere? I looked on eBay and three-piece US and nothing.
No.
They're 30 years old, you said?
They have to be.
Oh, man.
Because that stuff was well gone.
Could he go to a fabricator of some kind? Maybe they could.
Yeah,
help him
maybe a
out?
wheel refurbisher.
Okay.
Somebody that might be able to kind of take what you have and see if there's some parts that they can adapt to it. I know that the three-piece US, they're not really friendly about doing anything that's not within their wheelhouse as far as the wheels that they do. But there's, who you can give a call to that might be able to help you? Dan from Augment Wheels. He's up in Canada. He's up in like the Toronto area. He's really good with that, and he's a car guy, and he's super nice. So Dan from Augment Wheels, give him a shout. He might be one of those things where you can send him one of your wheels, and he can reproduce the lips for that. So I hope that helps you out.
DJ Toxic One in here asking again. I think we answered this, but he's asking, what wheels do you recommend for my Mark IV Jetta?
I think I told you what spec. I mean, as far as which wheels, you do have a few options. Remember, you got a 5 and 100 pattern, so it's a little bit limited, but there's options there. And if you want to go with something a little smaller, if you're looking for more of a meaty tire type thing, you could do like a 17.8 or something like that. So there's options out there. Check it out. Check out the website.
We got Wasiu Bello, hope I'm saying that correctly, with the guy with the Alpha Julia, saying, totally understand, still love your company, and I still love my bronze ampliforms on my 350Z.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. The Julia thing is, my brother-in-law had one until about a month ago when that vicious storm hit Florida and his car floated away.
It's a cool car. I like those cars.
So
the Quadra Julia, dude, those are. Scott the Stig saying trailer is 100% the move. Facebook Marketplace is the spot.
Yeah.
So check that out.
You're just gonna find some, like, for me, I felt like trailers are not like cars, right? Like even the most beat up trailer, as long as it's structurally kind of sound, look, you throw hubs on it, you do a new round of bearings, grease everything up, lubricate things. There's not much going on there. Make sure everything's, do a nut and bolt check. And then from that point on, really, if they're, just make sure you got metal in place and the wiring's good. But I mean, these are such easy things. One solid day in the driveway and, maybe $100 worth of parts, and you can have your trailer really spiffy again. So
we got Brian Wadman in here weighing in on trailers. He says, don't buy a cheaply built enclosed trailer. Nothing but problems most of the time. Buy better if you can. Yeah.
I mean, and I kind of say for people that aren't going to go to the track like all the time, like Brian Wadman, he's a pro spec driver, so he's a professional driver, and somebody like him is going to go to tracks all over the place, have a lot of stuff that they need to take with them. But if you're just going to the track and you're kind of going occasionally or a few times a year, an open car trailer is so totally fine. You know what I mean? And you'll watch, if that turns into a progression, you never lose money with trailers. I think every time I've ever bought a trailer, and I'm not like I bought so many, I mean, I think I've had 3 in my lifetime. Every time I've had a trailer, I always sold it for more than I paid for it. Something to keep in mind. I just think that the value of them continues to go up. I've never lost money on a trailer ever.
Well, every Mike can 718 asks, I don't know if you already said, but who's on the podcast today?
So the podcast, I think, is Doubt and Rich, and they're actually just cruising through Copart.
It's a good
because
one.
It's honestly really interesting. I know. I was just telling this story to one of the guys that works here, Troy. So I look at Copart quite a bit. For me, I'm always looking for kind of the unicorn, looking for a theft recovery. I'm looking for something where it doesn't have a lot of mechanical damage. It's the perfect mechanical hit that, just is kind of being overlooked. I'm looking for that type of thing. But, there was even just like, I think it was like a few months ago, 4 months ago, there was a 2013 R35, and it was a theft recovery. It was missing wheels, seats, might have been missing the front brakes. It had some of the airbox and some of the stuff taken apart. But bottom line is, this was all in all a fairly clean car. It needed a window replaced because obviously that was gone. But whatever it may happened, I'm thinking, well, seats, aftermarket seats, you start putting some of these things in. Wheels, I got that covered. Brakes, okay. Yeah. So I go with a big brake upgrade if I can't find those expensive R35 brakes. But the car ended up selling for $50,000. Now, $50,000 for an R35 that essentially is sound. If you can deal with the fact that it does have a salvage title on it, there was a savings there. I was hoping it was going to go for more like 40-ishness. So
if it was
42.
at 40, would you have bid on it?
If the bidding calmed down around like low 40s, I would have bid on it.
So if it was at 42 and there's 1 minute left, you bidding on that?
Yeah.
Nice. We got Car Guy Duke in here saying Ultragrams look incredible.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I was out in California just a few days ago and we were unloading a lot of that stuff. And I took one out of the box and it was perfect. I mean, the finish was perfect. The new rear flange is perfect. The wheel feels really nice. It looks wonderful. I mean, we've seen the samples, but there is something about just taking the damn thing out of the box. And it was amazing. It was really, honestly, I think I have even more appreciation for the wheel after opening one. I'm excited that they're here. And I can't wait for you guys to see it in live, in person there, and to start running them on your cars. I think you're going to be like really excited and happy to run this wheel. It's a really great wheel. And
we'll finish it out with this perfect question from R Destroyer asking, are the Ultragrams currently shipping?
They are currently shipping. Not every SKU is in stock, but I will tell you that most of the SKUs, there's a fair amount of SKUs in stock right now, part numbers, and there are some coming basically almost every other day from now until the end of the month, and most of that stuff will be in stock by the end of the month. So it's awesome. Anyhow, stay tuned for the podcast. It's coming up just in about 20 minutes time over on our YouTube channel, KONIG Wheels USA. Don't forget, you can also download the podcast if you're into that whole thing. Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartMedia, iTunes, and did I say Google Play? I don't know. Yeah, well, there's like 5 of them. Stitcher, or maybe I said that too. Anyhow, bottom line is you can take the podcast with you, listen to it in the car. That's cool. Let's see. Also, don't forget this Friday, we're going to be talking about wheel load rating. That will be the piece of content. Listen, it's informative. I'm going to give you that. I mean, yes, I did it with Max, but what I'm saying is, from an informational standpoint, you probably heard what loading rating is. You probably know what it is, but may not understand the importance or how we get there. So that's probably a pretty cool piece of content. Make sure you check that out. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because that is where we're going to be doing more giveaways. And with the Ultragram coming out, there may be something that's coming out soon. Make sure you're subscribed. Don't miss out. Take care of yourself, and we'll be back here next week. Peace out.
Awesome. Stopped at YouTube.